Hey guys, Tony here, and it is Monday. Monday fun day. So last night I was out driving, and at like 4:45 this morning I got a pickup that was going to Detroit, and I was like, oh, 2.5 hours away, awesome. So we get going, and probably about 5 minutes before we get to where we're going, all of a sudden I get a pickup request. And it wasn't like it normally was. Like, it wasn't saying next trip. It was showing the current trip. Like, as in a new trip. Like, a trip was non existent when I picked up my passenger. And after I'd already driven 160 miles, And so I was a little flustered at that moment. But I finished bringing him where he was going. And then I start heading back towards Grand Rapids. And typically, when you process, like, after your trip, it takes a little bit for it to process the actual payment, to your account to show in your earnings tab. However, you can usually cash out almost instantly. If it's a longer trip, it might take, like an hour or two. Well, guess what? I waited 2 hours. I waited 4 hours. And then finally it showed up for $100. And I was like, So I know the person canceled because he had said his girlfriend had gotten the ride for him. And if I wouldn't have gotten paid, I would have told Uber to piss off. I'd have been like, you know what, fuck that. I just drove 160 miles and you're not going to pay me? No, that's not happening. So luckily, I still got paid, and all that stuff worked out. But yeah, that kind of put me in a bad mood this morning. I was like, seriously? I was like, I drove them all the way across the state. Him, the guy, all the way across the state in 2.5 hours. And yeah, I was pretty mad. Not gonna lie. My lip is really shiny today. I don't know why. But anyways, so that was a fun trip, and this week I'm trying to do something different with Uber. I'm gonna try to not work the late nights. I mean, I like working late nights, don't get me wrong. Like, I make a lot of money, but let's see if I can do it during the day so I can sleep at night like a normal person, And I'm getting ready to go out here in a few minutes. I'm going to get some lunch because I'm starving. It's like 2:20 in the afternoon. I'm starving. I went and hung out with my friend for a little bit. Yeah, we hung out, and I dropped her off at work, and now I'm getting ready to go out to work. So, but yeah, I like this morning. I really questioned if I was going to continue to drive for Uber because of that. Like, I was going to go down to the office here in Grand Rapids and be like, look, if I don't get paid today by 2 o'clock, I ain't never going to turn on the app again. I'll go drive for Lyft or Steady Fare or whatever, or else I'll just go do something else. And, because in the time that it took me to do his trip, if he had waited 15 more minutes, it would have started surging in Grand Rapids, and I could have taken many, many more trips, in the Grand Rapids area to the airport, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I easily could have made that $100 locally instead of going across the state. Although I did realize something. When you drive into Detroit and you want to be a driver, it surges like crazy. Like the other night, my buddy Ben sends me a text that says, hey man, can you send me a screenshot of the surge prices in Grand Rapids? I was like, well, Grand Rapids isn't surging right now. This was at 2 in the morning. Detroit was lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. I'm driving the wrong market. Like, I feel like if I made that 2.5 hour drive on a weekend, I think I could make pretty good money. I mean, yeah, it's a little sketchy of an area to drive for some of the drivers, and they pay, I think, 10 cents less per mile. But that thing was surging this morning when I dropped that dude off. Like, the pickup was like a 6.4 surge. And that was at 8 in the morning. So imagine getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting to Detroit by 6:30, doing some runs, make a good chunk of change, and go home. And then you got the rest of the day. I'm actually kind of thinking about doing that. I don't know. Like I drove. It happened when I was in Lansing too, and it happened when I was in Kalamazoo. So I don't know. I'm gonna try some things out with Uber. I think this week I'm gonna try doing like daytime runs, and then I might actually try doing Detroit like next week. Like obviously I'll still be here, but I'll just go out there early, and then just be out there during the day, come back, by 6 or 7 at night, and then go from there. Because if it surges like that all the time, man, that's a lot of money to make. And I'm not super familiar with the Detroit area or the Kalamazoo area or even the Lansing area, but if I drive them, I'll get familiar with them. Like, I wasn't super familiar with the GR area either, and then when I started driving after about 2 weeks, I was familiar with it. So, that's one thing I'm thinking about doing. I might actually just try it out, see what I can make happen. And yeah, I don't know. This video is getting long, but I'm not in a bad mood right now, as you can tell. All smiles right now, and yeah, I don't know. I kind of contemplating driving Detroit, and I know why it surges because there's a lot of drivers down there that probably just don't want to drive. But that surge pricing was crazy because I looked at my map and I was like, "Holy smokes!" I was like, "Damn!" Like Sterling Heights, all the sub areas around Detroit were just lit up like Christmas trees. And yes, I don't know. Stop thinking about it. I'm really, really, really thinking about it. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens because that's a 2.5 hour drive at the speed limit. So I'd try to go at like 3 a.m, get there by like 5:30. Sit for maybe 10 minutes or whatever, or maybe I won't sit for 10 minutes. Get some pickups and then start going. And the cool thing was Detroit had that waypoint editor thing, so I could set trips maybe heading back towards GR, but I probably wouldn't get one. Because that's a long drive. That's a 2.5 hour drive. That's $100 fare, okay? So today's earnings were covered. Like, I normally set myself to try to make at least 100. I already made that $100 for the day. But I like money, and I'm going to go back out, and I want more money. So, maybe not down. I'm not going to drive down to Detroit again today because that's 160 freaking miles. That's a long drive, guys. A long drive. But, still. You could theoretically, if it surges like that, if you're on top of that surge, you could make some good money off of that. Within a few hours, you could make up the difference. I went through a half a tank of gas getting down there at 160 miles, so you could make up for it. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm thinking about doing it next week. I don't know yet. I haven't decided because then, with my luck, I'll go down to Detroit to do it, and I'll get shot and killed or stabbed again. And I don't want to get stabbed again. I didn't get stabbed in Detroit last time. I got stabbed in Montague, but still, I don't want to get stabbed. But anyways, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna head out here to Grand Rapids to my known area where I drive. I'm gonna get me some lunch. I don't think I'm gonna get McDonald's. I'm gonna try to wean off of the McDonald's. Like, I've not been sitting well with the belly. And I'm gonna pick up my McDonald's bag from the other day. Whoopsie. But yeah, so we're still on the hunt for 100 subscribers. Okay, so let's get to it. I'll do a giveaway. It'll be a t-shirt that looks like this. It'll be black, but it'll have like I won this t-shirt in a stupid giveaway or something like that, And yeah, maybe I have a picture of my face or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But all right, guys. So I will see you tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. Got a pajama day date thing set up for tomorrow. It's hard to explain. You don't understand. But so I got that set up for tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm gonna have a vlog come out tomorrow. If I do, it maybe be later in the day. So I don't know. But all right, guys. So I will catch you next time. See ya.